Hi, I'm Char. I am currently the world record holder of slash jump with a 241. I wanted to make a quick video just like basically breaking down the entire speedrun to give people generally something to like at least work towards, unless you're super close to it already, because I know there's a few people with like a sub 250 or sub 3s. But for like mid-level runners, this is something to like at least should help you understand the run better. Also, like break down the skips and all that stuff. It might not be super accurate for the future because there has been some talk of for example, the death warp getting changed. But as of the release, like version of the game, this is the pretty much ideal way to speedrun it. Yeah, there will be like mistakes, but I will be explaining pretty much everything. So I'll go through the run and then explain pretty much everything that there is to know about this game. So immediately, this is super basic. Uh, if you press either R on your keyboard or it's different depending on the controller, you can restart a level. So normally when you start the game and intro scene plays that lasts 16 seconds, if you press restart about like a second and 66 milliseconds into the run, you skip the intro entirely. It doesn't have to be obviously that early, but just anytime during the intro. That's about as early as I aim for, but yeah, you press restart, you skip the entire intro, and you could just start playing super early. Uh, Say intro, not too complicated. People have a lot of different ways of doing this. Here I do two small hops on this platform. You can technically, with like some people set up, skip it entirely, just do one big hop, save like, I don't know, a few tenths of a second. For me, this works consistently because I want to get my first like around 40 seconds of the run perfectly consistent and like as fast as possible to what I'm comfortable with. So then the rest of this screen, I do all big hops and I slightly angle my stick down so I go slightly higher when I jump for the very last one. I make sure that I slash on this like upper lip of this last platform. That kind of just makes it so I have a consistent setup onto this next screen. The big thing here is you want to, at least the way I do it. You can find a different way that you're more comfortable with. I'm gonna explain how it's comfortable for me. So I slash right on the like edge of this specific ridge, I guess. That lets me slash on this top ridge right here. You can see it looked kind of like I was slashing on the bottom one, but the smoke is up here, so I'm slashing the corner of this top ridge. That lets me land right here, slash this ridge, and that gives me a perfect setup into landing pretty much as far as possible as I can into this cave. Then I just do two big slashes. If you want to go slower, that's fine. You could do a couple of small slashes here to be safer with it. As fast as possible, you just do one big slash, land over it, and keep going. This screen is kind of a pain in the ass. I'm not exactly sure how to make the screen consistent because the jump from here to here and then to get down here feels really inconsistent. Even the smallest micro adjustments to where you're slashing feels like it gives you a totally different outcome. It generally doesn't matter too much. Just the way I do it is that when I'm on this top platform, I do a big jump here, and then when I'm on this top platform, I do either one or two small slashes, so I land past this ridge and down over here. That lets me do a big slash and just go straight onto the next screen. This screen's a freebie, just a bunch of big slashes. This screen's a little bit interesting. I land right here on this bottom platform. I've seen some other runners get far enough here to where they don't hit their head on this ridge, but they still make it on straight onto this wooden platform. Not onto it, but at least close enough to it to where they're able to slash it. It probably doesn't save much time at all, but it is technically slightly faster, but I've hit it a few times, but I can't seem to get it consistently, so landing on this bottom platform works a lot better for me. This screen's all fine. Jump here. There's been times where I either land too far in here, so I'll die on this very beginning spike, or I'll slash too far on this bottom platform, and then I'll end up, or rather, not far enough on this bottom platform, and I'll end up hitting this top spike instead of getting straight over it and dying to that. Kind of annoying, but this screen is not like a huge death area. This screen's once again fine, bunch of big slashes. And so, since there's no like auto splits or in general splits for the game, you could technically manually split it, but in a speedrun this fast, that's not really feasible. And since there's no auto splits, I basically aim to look for certain times on certain screens. When I'm entering this screen, I'm hoping to... my average is about 44, but 40 is like about as perfect as I can possibly hope to get it. And as you can see, in here, I get like late 40s, early 41, so pretty solid start to the run. I keep going. Also, I have seen people get here in like 39s, and I think I've seen someone get a 38 at some point. That's too fast for me. That you need to be more precise than I can be. It's not super impossible to do, but it's not like consistent. I would like to have a very consistent start. The rest of the screen, not too bad. This screen is a little bit weird because generally when you're jumping in this game, when you're just traversing long distances, or if you're going horizontally across these spikes that pull in and out, you want to jump as low as possible to have as little airtime as possible, to save time, obviously. The problem with that on this screen is that if you go too horizontally, you'll actually just miss the spike entirely and land back on this platform, and that's just a reset. So, yeah, you want to have a healthy mix of going up and going to the sides so you don't go too high and just waste a bunch of time, but it's not super crucial. It, once again, maybe saves like a few tenths of a second. On this screen, I don't know if this is faster. I think it's faster, and if it's not, at the very least it seems more consistent to me, is the first reset that I do. So I go into the screen, immediate reset. You respawn right here, so between jumping to here and resetting, it's maybe slightly faster is what I think, but realistically it probably doesn't matter too much, for at least the human limit currently. But that lets you immediately jump to here, slash off of this platform while you're still in the air so that you reach this platform and you don't have to jump off of this wall, and you can just keep going. This screen's fine. I try to make it a habit to slash twice at the same time. Here, let me go frame by frame. I try to slash twice on that wall. A lot of the time, if I only slash once, I don't have enough air time, or like height rather, to get up to this platform. So I try to slash twice to just make sure 100% that I have enough air. Rest of it's fine. Here, second reset. So, yeah, I guess this is easier. So rather than going all the way around here and getting to this bubble, you reset and you just end up respawning right here. A lot more consistent, a lot faster, and since it's such an easy rest of the level after getting across here, you don't have to think about setup or anything, you just slash in one direction continuously. So you can basically start spamming the slash button before the reset's even finished, and that lets you really quickly move on to the next screen. Same thing with this one. Jumping up to this platform, actually, for some reason, is a huge pain. I feel like most of the time I need at least like one setup jump to get closer and then a second jump to actually get up here. Resetting skips that entirely, plus you can land closer, or you respawn closer to the edge of this. So you do one small jump, land somewhere around midair here, big slash on this wall, and you just barely manage to go under this spike and land on the other side of the platform. That seems to be the fastest way of doing it. So this screen, not too much different. Or like special, I guess. It doesn't really matter what you do. Kind of just want to go fast. So the intro to this screen is interesting, because you can see I just jumped into this wall and hit my head and then waited for me to land on the bottom platform. That gives you a really consistent setup to jump like to the rest of this level. I have pretty commonly, it's not like super hard to do, it just depends on where you jump from on the previous screen, rather than jumping here and then falling straight down, you jump early enough to where you just end up, or that's a bad drawing. You land down here and just barely land on this platform without ever touching this. So you don't have to wait for you to go up, hit the wall, and then go back down. Saves, once again, a few tenths of a second. Not hugely important, but it is something to think about. That's the ideal way of doing it. So keep going. Nothing too special here. This screen also has something interesting on it. So you can see I jumped from... Oh god, this is too far. Whatever. So jump up, slash it, jump off of this wall, slash... jump over this like pit of gray, which these kill you. All the gray kills you. Jump over that, slash the spike, and then keep going. So I have seen, or not seen, I have done this by accident pretty much is the only time I've done it. I've never tried to go for this because it saves very little time, and it's way, way more precise. Rather than jumping here, going over, bouncing, yada yada, you can actually jump straight over this and still manage to slash this and keep going without ever touching this and dying. Once again, few tenths of a second, not a huge time improvement, but something to think about. Keep going here, and we get to the biggest reset level in the game for me. This is Cannon Skip. There's not really a name for it. I don't know. Not super... The only skip that has a name is the Death Warp, but this is certainly a skip. It's not the way you're supposed to do this level. The way I do it... I used to do this differently, actually. But I wait for this cannon to shoot first so it's past me, jump off of this wall, and then the top of this wall, and then slash off of the ceiling to get right side momentum again so I can keep going with the run. So there's a few different ways of doing this. Let's say... hold on, let me color pick this. So let's say there's a cannonball here, and you are right around here. So the way that I've seen most people do it is you jump onto this cannonball, jump straight up, and then while this other cannonball is coming towards you, you slash the cannonball to bounce off of it and then keep going this way. It's probably a little bit faster to do that, honestly, rather than having to go way too high and then like correct off of the ceiling. If that works for you, that's perfectly fine. For me, I find doing that really hard, and I get a lot of inconsistent setups with it, unless you reset the level like right as you go into it, but I try to just go with whatever setup I'm given. I've had times where the ball will go down, but I just won't actually get any bounce height off of it. Sometimes the cannonball will just disappear, and nothing else will happen. There won't be a slashing sound, I won't get any height, but the cannonball will just disappear after I slash it. Not very fun. I found most consistent is wait for it to be done. Hold on, let me get rid of that cannonball. Wait for it to be somewhere around here before I jump. Then jump up here, wait for it to go, jump here, and keep going. So that's what I find easiest. If you find other strats easier, that's perfectly fine. However works for you. This screen, not too much to talk about here. You're supposed to jump on this leaf platform, but you can actually, if you bounce off of this bubble, rather than... So these bubbles are slashable. You don't actually have to go inside of them. If you slash it rather than going inside of it, you can actually just reach that top bubble. You also don't even have to go inside of that one either. You can just go like under it to the left and slash it that way and still make it to the platform. I find it most consistent to slash the bottom one, get into the top one, and then keep going. And then do the rest of the screen as normal. Same thing with this one, or this screen rather. This is like, saves maybe a few hundredths of a second. This is not something that you should be going for, or probably even thinking about, unless you're doing a task, if that ever gets added to the game. As you can see, I do this the normal way. I jump off of the right side platform, then the left side platform, and then I keep going. So you can actually just jump off of this right side platform straight up onto the wooden platform up here. It does not save almost any time at all, and it's not super hard to do. It's hard to do if you're on a run with good pace, but in general, it's not a hard trick, but it's not something you should be thinking about or going for when the normal way is like so much easier. This screen is fine. My only thing with this is I did kind of a big jump here, which you don't really want to do. You want to jump as low here as possible while still not clipping the edge of this and being able to just land in this pit. And then especially on this spike, you want to almost slash horizontally so you get almost no upwards momentum rather than jumping way back up here and then back down. You want to stay right around here, wait for the spikes to go, and then just drop and then slash off of these spikes and keep going. This screen is annoying. For some reason, recently, I've been getting this screen pretty consistently, but depending on where you slash from in the previous screen and then on the beginning of this screen, you can overjump this cannonball entirely and then just not be able to do it and have to reset. If you're doing that, like, more often than you're doing what I do here and just getting a perfect setup and going straight to the next platform, I recommend as soon as you get on this screen to reset the level, because if you reset the level, you respawn right around here, and if you wait like maybe half a second and then do a big jump into like this general direction, it's super easy. You get like basically a perfect timing with the cannonball coming out right when you need it. It's slightly slower maybe, but it's super consistent compared to the strategy that I used, which doesn't work 100% of the time, but it's not too rare. For some reason today it was just going super well for me. The rest of the screen's fine. So this screen, there's a few ways of doing it. I've seen people go in both of these bubbles and then just slash up and then go on here. I've seen people go in this first bubble, slash the top of this one, and then just jump off the wall. I like to slash on the top of both of the bubbles so that I get as much height onto this as possible and I can make it in basically one jump. And this is where we get to the most complicated skip of the run. So at the beginning of speedrunning this game, this was very complicated and no one knew really the mechanics of how the death warp worked. This is the death warp, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. Now we have a pretty good understanding of how it works. It's not 100%, but it's maybe 85 to 90% consistent at this point, at least for me. One of the other runners included an explanation of the death warp, which I'll link that in the description of this, because he explains it better than I probably will. But this screen is super important to the setup of the death warp. Setup is the word I was looking for. So whatever you do before you land over here doesn't really matter. Just get over here as fast as you can. This is when it gets important. So you can see I slash here, slash the right side, reset the level, and I'm up here. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So the way this works is, let me also, hold on. Here we go. So the way you want to do this is, for some reason, this is the way that it works. I can't explain to you why this works. We don't actually know the mechanics of it, but this works for some reason. When you're jumping over here, you first want to land on this wall. If you land on the floor, I haven't tested this much, but it seems to not work more often than it does if you first land on this floor and then on the right wall or the left wall. You want to first slash off of this wall, preferably near the bottom. Well, not preferably, I guess, but near enough to the bottom to where you can keep going this way and then slash off of this wall. Slashing off of this wall first and this wall second is crucial. You can't slash twice off of this wall. You can't slash twice off of this wall. Can't slash off the floor to this wall. None of that seems to work, like, the majority of the time. Doing it this way, where you go this wall, here, this wall, that seems to work the vast majority of the time. 85 to 90%, like I said. Then on this screen, the way that people used to do it is, the way this worked, actually, I have no idea. This I can't explain at all. You used to go all the way over here and die into this gray pit, and then you still get the death warp. I cannot explain why that works at all. I don't know. But it did sometimes, not very rarely, but like 1 in 10. It was not fun. The more consistent setup is after you slash off of the right wall, like I was saying, you want to not touch this bottom wooden platform. So you want to just wait, and then slash... I guess I shouldn't have done this because I didn't do this in this run. You want to wait and then slash off this top wooden platform and land in these spikes. This is the like prototype to the death warp. So you would land in the spikes, and you'd respawn here. Pretty fast. Also, most importantly, you also don't want to go past this plant. If you go past this plant, it won't work, which is why I don't know why landing here would work sometimes. But yeah, don't go past this plant, land on the top platform. Fastest way to do it is after you slash on this right wall, the moment you get onto the screen, you're just spamming the reset button, and as soon as you reset, you respawn up there. I don't know why it works, but it works. Here, you can see I messed up a little bit here. That's fine. Keep going. Good pace run. Might as well finish it, even though it's not perfect. Here, I had a heart attack because look at how far down I am. I'm not on this wooden platform. I don't know how I slashed this wooden platform, but I did, and it let me keep going. If I didn't, you wouldn't have seen a 241 record. But kept going. Jump off that spike. Not too hard. Same thing with this screen. One thing to note about this screen, I should have put this one in Photoshop actually because I didn't think about it. Similar to this level where instead of hitting this wall and then landing straight on this, you can just jump straight to it with a precise jump. Rather than landing on this spike, it's possible to jump from the back of here, like barely low enough to where you don't hit your head on this wall and you land on this further spike. Once again, saves maybe a tenth or two, but not something you should be going for. But if it happens, it happens. Not bad. I had this in one of my PBs at some point, purely by accident. I was not going for it. But yeah, keep going. Nothing too crazy on this screen. There's probably some sort of strat, honestly, with... God damn it. Where you slash this... Oh my god, maybe I should incorporate this. I haven't thought about that at all, actually. Where I'm coming up with this right now as I'm recording. Slash this so it goes down, jump off of this wall, slash off of here, and then land here? I don't know if that'll work, but that's something to think about. That would skip this whole top section. I don't know how hard that is, but that's something to think about. But yeah, so I keep going. The rest of the level is not hard. This screen is not hard if you set up properly. If you land, or if you jump from way too far to the left, you will land here, and then you might not even make it to the second leaf platform, and if you do make it to the second leaf platform, you're not making it to the spikes. You will die to the spike. This is not that hard to do, but if you are like insanely far to the left, don't risk it. Just do a small hop and then a big hop to land closer to the middle or to the right of the platform like I did. And then if you land to the middle or the right of the platform, this level is not hard. You can do the rest of it super easy. This is the pretty much last actual screen of the game. This screen is really long. So I've theorized a few things for this. All of them seem way too hard to do, at least currently. Maybe the skill level of this run will continue to improve and people will do it at some point, but I don't know. These seem really hard. So the normal way of doing it is jump off of this spike, go around, get in the bubble, go around again, jump on that spike, and then you land there. So I think there's two things that are possible here, in theory. I don't know if either of these are possible, but these are things I've theorized. So rather than going here, 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 you actually just go to the right side. Because the way that slashing in this game works is it'll let you do it if you're barely not parallel. If you slash perfectly down on this wall, you're not going to slash it. If you slash slightly to the right, that'll slash it, and you'll get pretty much only upward momentum. Doing this, it's like pretty hard to do on like such a long stretch of wall like this, but it should, I think, be possible in theory. If it is, well, not if it is, this is definitely possible in theory. But the part I'm not sure about is you jump off of the wall, slash this so that it goes in, so it's, I don't know, more like this size. Jump back down here, and then somehow get around it, or like jump to here and then up and then keep going. I don't know. That one seems not feasible. That would, if it is possible, that's definitely the fastest strat, but that seems like, I don't think you can do that unless you have a TAS, and even if you have a TAS, I'm not sure if it's possible. The thing that might be possible for humans at some point is, rather than going down here and going all the way around, what if you just jumped to this wall, and then, like I said, you can be almost parallel with the wall and jump up, jump straight up here, and then just keep going, cutting out this whole area. I've tried this a few times. It's really hard. I've not gotten it. I didn't try too long. I tried maybe like 2-3 minutes, but it's really hard. It would save probably like a good 2 to 4 seconds. As of right now, it's not necessary, but if the record ever gets to like 225, this, or like even 220, it might start, we gotta start looking for new strats at some point. Yeah, that's pretty much all that there is to talk about on that screen. That's not the right one. That's Dino. Then yeah, finish out this screen again, even though I rewinded. I messed up this screen horribly. I am dog shit at doing this very, like, I don't even consider this a screen. I don't practice or think about this screen at all because it's pretty much a joke, like second to last level. Doing this as optimally as possible is really annoying to me. All of the other top runners I've seen do this flawlessly, and they get perfectly up here super fast and then a super short jump to the left. I can't do that. I missed like 3 slashes, and then I did a huge jump and wasted like a second. And then the last screen is the last screen, obviously. So, ooh, Lazy Matman, good YouTuber.
After clips.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, that is pretty much all that there is to explain with this run. If you have any questions, either join the speedrunning Discord, which I'll also link in the description, and you can ask me there, or just leave a comment on the video. This video turned out to be a lot longer than I was expecting, 28 minutes. But, yeah, it's a lot of rambling, I don't know. Yeah. That's a very, very in-depth explanation of what I think to be every single important trick on every single room in Slash Jump. At least that we know of currently. Things might change in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.